Once Bitten 19... Wait. Nope. My Best Friend is a Vampire from 1987. Welcome to my latest video here. I got a very quick one here for another 80s throwback for a film that I've always enjoyed, but I hadn't seen in about 20 years. And I'm surprised I haven't really heard much mention of over the years. I feel like it's kind of been forgotten. It is for My Best Friend is a Vampire from 1987, starring Robert Sean Leonard, who you may know from House, and also David Warner, who you may know from pretty much everything. He's popped up in a lot of things throughout like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. He's really been in a lot of stuff. But the basic synopsis for this film is as follows. After a sexual encounter with a beautiful client, a teenage delivery boy finds himself being turned into a vampire. So this one I think was sometimes kind of mixed up with the Jim Carrey film Once Bitten, which I also did a video for, and I will link to that at the end screen and in the description. So I'd done a video for that a little while back, and that film had come out a few years before this one. So where this one kind of stands out and mixes things up a bit more is how vampires are portrayed, I would say. We get Renee Auberjonois, who you may know from Benson. Ask your parents about Benson, that was way back. But Deep Space Nine, let's say, is Odo, the shapeshifter. So you may kind of be familiar with him from that. In this one, he plays a character who's kind of like a mentor and a guide of sorts for this kid. He's kind of showing him how to survive as a vampire in the modern age, what the rules are for being a vampire, such as aging, the need to consume blood, what effect things like sunlight or garlic or holy water or crosses or any of that stuff actually has on them. It's portrayed in vampirism is portrayed in a very positive way in this, where almost like a slight disability but with many rewards, such as a longer life, only aging 1 year for every decade roughly that goes by. And so just from that alone, you have this benefit of time to meet some amazing people, which got this little clip here.
I've known people like Pablo Picasso, Sigmund Freud, Isabel Watson, Madame Curie.
Who's Isabel Watson?
Trust me, she was fascinating.
And you just have the time to pursue anything, and really, with the benefit of time on your side, you can just do so much more with life. But we also get this association that our main character has with his best friend, where in other films, sometimes they kind of hide whatever they're going through, and it's this big deal when it comes out. It comes out pretty quickly in this one. He's not really hiding it as much. They're still friends, and they're having fun kind of testing out his vampire powers, especially like the hypnotism, to see if he can kind of zone in on some girls there and kind of entice them. So it's very funny, the kind of stuff that they do with that. But then the other cool aspect of this one is David Warner's character and his little sidekick, who are hell-bent on destroying all vampires because they see them as these evil, blood-sucking monsters, when in reality there was a time where, as his guide/mentor says, there were some bad apples in the Dark Ages who kind of spoiled it for all of them going forward, and it's hard for a lot of people who know about vampires to shake that free. But I think what I love most about this film and what's aged really well is that the comedy thrown in about our lead situation in relation to his friends, his family, the girl that he's interested in, as well as the compassion and intellect that his mentor has with him. It's a really great relationship. And it turns more towards those aspects of the story than kind of like the sex comedy leanings that Once Bitten had really had. So this one was a bit hard for me to track down. I think in some other countries it had a different title. I believe it was called like I Was a Teenage Vampire or something along those lines. So, click on the IMDb link in the description to get a little bit more information about that. As for where to actually watch it, it is available via a paid rental, but I also found an ad-supported version of it on YouTube, which was a surprisingly good transfer, and I will link to that in the end screen as well, and in case you're interested in checking it out. And speaking of checking out, thanks for checking out this very quick latest video of mine, and for sticking around to the end, as it really does help out the channel quite a bit. But sound off in the comments. Have you ever seen this one growing up, or ever come across it? What are your thoughts on it? Especially if you've seen Once Bitten, how do you kind of compare them? Are they different enough that you can enjoy them both separately, or does one of them really win out over the other? Anyways, thanks for stopping by. Again, this is just a very quick one to give you guys for the weekend. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and I will see you in the next one.